With Sobchak's career finished, Putin found himself jobless again. However, his work with Sobchak put him in the orbit of Boris Yeltsin's people. Boris Yeltsin's Russia was not going well. It suffered a lot of the same issues St. Petersburg suffered under Sobchak. The rapid transition to a capitalist economy opens the country to rampant corruption and crime, with many politicians seeming not too upset about this given the opportunity for their own advancement. Yeltsin also dealt with two major issues Sobchak did not: an unpopular war in Chechnya between 1994 and 1996, and ailing health, which saw Yeltsin disappear from the public eye on occasion. He was, at this point, still the Federation's first president and was constantly worried about a safe transition of power. He also knew Russian history was not kind to former rulers or their families, so picking a successor with a thing for loyalty and who was able to keep him and his family safe were high on his list of qualifications. And this brings us to August of 1996, when a member of Yeltsin's cabinet called Putin to Moscow for an interview. The opportunity fell through, but instead of returning to St. Petersburg with nothing, Putin found himself working for Pavel Borodin of the Presidential Property Management Directorate. He worked as Borodin's deputy, and it was more or less his job to purchase the Soviet property that now lay outside of Russia's borders. From there, in March of 1997, Putin was placed in the position of Main Control Directorate. He was given authority in investigating how government money was being spent and to end government corruption wherever he could find it. From this new position, he discovered just how corrupt and damaged the Federation was. He also became respected for doing his job well and returning government control to sectors that had gone rogue due to corruption. His outsider status, competence, and staying out of the Yeltsin inner circle drama allowed Putin another promotion. He was appointed to director of the FSB, the KGB's successor. This was an attempt by Yeltsin to control the more old-fashioned leaders of the FSB by appointing someone who understood them but was loyal to him. In this position, Putin guided the FSB through some modernizing reforms that reflect some of his later interests, such as monitoring the emergent internet. Putin was once again rewarded for his diligence. On August 5th of that year, Yeltsin would tell Putin, a man who just a short time before was relatively unknown to the wider public, of his plan to appoint him as prime minister. Being prime minister was more than a big deal. It was the ticket to the presidency. Yeltsin was worried about his own health, and on top of that, he had a habit of firing prime ministers. Putin, the aloof yet competent outsider, showed none of the signs of machinations or overt visible corruption of the previous prime ministers. Yeltsin wanted a stable picture for whom to leave the country to avoid the repeated fates of Russia's previous rulers. On this note, he also sought a successor who would guarantee the safety of his family upon leaving power. Putin's reputation for loyalty preceded itself on that one. He was the perfect candidate.